In the shadowy underworld of global crime, two empires emerged, fueled by greed, drugs, and violence. One from the heartlands of Mexico, led by Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, and the other from the streets of Dublin, led by Christy Kinahan and his sons. Today, we dive deep into their lives, exploring how they built their empires, the ruthless tactics they employed, and the chaos they left in their wake. Welcome to Breached. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was born in 1957 in the rural town of La Tuna, Sinaloa, into a poor farming family. His father, a poppy farmer, introduced him to the world of narcotics at a young age. By the age of 15, he was already involved in the drug trade, selling marijuana to support his family. By the late 1970s, he entered the drug trade under the mentorship of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, who was instrumental in organizing the Mexican drug trade. Under Gallardo's guidance, El Chapo learned the intricacies of smuggling and distribution, positioning himself for greater power. By the 1980s, the Sinaloa Cartel was officially formed, and El Chapo quickly rose through the ranks, taking control of lucrative drug routes into the United States. His ambition and ruthlessness earned him the nickname El Chapo, meaning shorty, a nod to his height and an ironic testament to his towering presence in the drug trade. On the other side of the Atlantic, Christy Kinahan, born in 1958 in Dublin, began his criminal career in the 1970s as a petty thief. With a knack for business and a sharp mind for profit, Kinahan transitioned from small-time crime to the larger, more lucrative drug trade by the early 1990s. He leveraged connections within the criminal underworld, creating a network that would allow him to import large quantities of cocaine and heroin into Europe, particularly targeting the Irish and British markets. Both El Chapo and Kinahan used very different models to grow their empires. The Sinaloa Cartel, under El Chapo's leadership, capitalized on Mexico's geographic proximity to the U.S. market. They employed innovative smuggling techniques, utilizing tunnels, drones, and even submarines to transport drugs across the border. El Chapo was known for his operational efficiency. By establishing sophisticated supply chains and leveraging corruption at multiple levels, he ensured that drugs moved seamlessly into the U.S. market. His cartel dealt in cocaine, methamphetamine, marijuana, and heroin. At its peak, the Sinaloa Cartel was earning an estimated $3 billion annually. In contrast, the Kinahan Cartel's approach was more diversified. Kinahan and his associates imported cocaine and heroin into Europe via Spain and the Netherlands. They strategically established relationships with local gangs to facilitate distribution, enabling them to expand their market reach. Additionally, Kinahan's cartel invested heavily in legitimate businesses, including real estate, online gambling, and boxing promotions to launder their profits. By the 2010s, their estimated earnings reached €1 billion annually, showcasing their financial acumen. Control came at a bloody price for both leaders. El Chapo's reign was marked by an unprecedented rise in violence. The Mexican government declared war on drugs in 2006, which led to a brutal escalation in violence among rival cartels. El Chapo's conflict with the Los Zetas and the Juarez cartel resulted in a staggering number of deaths. Between 2006 and 2018, it's estimated that over 250,000 people died due to cartel-related violence, with much of this violence linked directly to El Chapo's ambition to dominate the drug trade. He employed extreme measures, including assassinations and torture, to eliminate rivals and instill fear in those who dared to oppose him. On the other side, the Kinahan Cartel's violent legacy is no less brutal. Their rivalry with the Hutch gang in Ireland escalated dramatically after the Regency Hotel shooting in February 2016, where armed Kinahan associates opened fire during a boxing weigh-in, resulting in multiple injuries and fatalities. This incident marked the beginning of an ongoing gang war that has led to over 20 murders, further fueling violence in Ireland's criminal underbelly. The Kinahans have resorted to extreme violence to maintain control, often using hitmen to eliminate enemies. Both cartels expanded their reach beyond their homelands, creating intricate networks that spanned the globe. El Chapo's Sinaloa Cartel was particularly adept at establishing relationships with Colombian suppliers, ensuring a steady flow of cocaine. Their operations stretched across North America, with established revenues coming from sales in over 50 countries, making them a household name in the drug trade. The Sinaloa Cartel controlled a significant share of the cocaine trade into the United States, often transporting hundreds of tons of drugs across the border each year. They also expanded their influence into Asia, establishing contacts with traffickers in countries like China and the Philippines. Conversely, the Kinahan Cartel focused heavily on European markets. They capitalized on connections with Moroccan and Dutch criminals, facilitating the transport of large quantities of cocaine and heroin into Spain and then distributing it throughout Europe. Their network was carefully crafted to evade law enforcement and maintain control over their lucrative operations. The fall of El Chapo began with his first arrest in 2014, but his infamous escape from a maximum security prison in 2015 would make headlines around the world. He tunneled out of the prison in a meticulously planned operation which showcased his resources and determination. However, his luck ran out in January 2016 when he was recaptured by Mexican authorities after a violent shootout. In 2019, El Chapo was extradited to the United States, where he faced numerous charges, including drug trafficking, conspiracy, and money laundering. After a high-profile trial that unveiled the inner workings of his empire, he was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. His downfall sent shockwaves through the cartel. Yet, the Sinaloa Cartel remains a powerful force, demonstrating the resilience of organized crime, even in the face of significant leadership losses. In contrast, the Kinahan Cartel faced a series of challenges as well. Christy Kinahan and his sons, Daniel and Christopher, became targets of law enforcement agencies across Europe and beyond. In 2020, Irish police, along with international authorities, launched Operation Tara, aimed at dismantling the Kinahan crime network. The Kinahans' lavish lifestyle and high-profile connections in the boxing world have only intensified scrutiny, leading to increasing pressure from law enforcement. Despite this, Kinahan remains a fugitive, continuing to elude capture while his empire struggles to maintain its power amidst relentless police efforts. As we reflect on the legacy of these two notorious figures, we see contrasting tales of ambition, violence, and survival. El Chapo's reign may have ended in a prison cell, but the Sinaloa Cartel continues to thrive. Meanwhile, the Kinahan Cartel remains under constant threat, its future uncertain. The world of organized crime is relentless and unforgiving, where empires rise and fall, but the struggle for power remains ever present. In the end, the true cost of their legacies is measured in lives lost, families shattered, and communities torn apart. Join us next time on Breached as we continue to explore the dark and dangerous world of organized crime.